Hello everybody, welcome back. I did say that there was going to be an announcement soon to show off the replacement for the boss, and here it is. Now, congratulations to Lawrence Tim, because the prize for correctly guessing that a Team Corally was going to replace the boss is £5 million in cash. So congratulations to Lawrence Tim, you win £5 million in cash. Or you would have, but you spelt it wrong. And there's no such thing as a Team Corollary. So I'm sorry, the rules stipulate you can't get your prize money. Never mind, hard luck. Okay, so we have here the Team Corally Triton SP. This is the brushed version. There is a Triton XP, which is the brushless version, which has got a black body shell, not this blue one. They both look cool. The black and red one's probably slightly more mean and cool looking, but never mind. This is the SP, the brushed version, and today we're going to be unboxing it. And again, this is to replace the boss, my Proline Pro MT, which I love, but you just can't get parts for anymore. So what is this? It's a two-wheel drive, I was going to say ready to run, but it's not ready to run. Two-wheel drive monster truck. Now, the box is a bit misleading. I want to just get this over and done with. First of all, this, as you can see from this point here, is available in two flavours. You have the ready to run and the almost ready to run. So basically it says here, comes with a charger, RTR car kit, battery and charger included, that's ready to run. RTR car kit, battery and charger not included. You shouldn't call that an RTR, that's an ARTR. Battery and kit, battery and charger not included. So obviously they're using the same box for both, that's absolutely fine. But there is a bit of a problem with that. It can cause a little bit of misunderstanding, a bit of confusion. Obviously I knew what I was getting and I knew what I was buying. But if you're new to the hobby, you might not. For example, where is it? It says there on the box, 100% RTR, 100% ready to run. Well, it's not 100% ready to run. It doesn't have a battery and charger. It also says Sport Power 2S. Well, there's no battery in it. How do you know it's 2S? I mean, maybe you're advertising that it can handle 2S. Well, in that case, put something more clear cut, because that, to someone who doesn't know particularly what they're buying, suggests that 100% ready to run, oh, and it's got a 2S battery. Well, that's not the case here. Also, on the other side it says 2 to 3S. Now that makes more sense, because you're saying, well, this can handle 2 to 3S, because it's not going to say, oh, there's a 2 to 3S inside the box. Well, it's either a 2S or a 3S. Yeah, it's a little bit of confusion there with the boxing there, Corally. I think you should think about changing that so that here, rather than say 100% ready to run, you should have two options. You know, like you've got a little pen thing down here saying which one it is. Make it bigger and say, no, this is the RTR 100%, or this is the ARTR 80% ready to run, need battery and charger, something like that. It's just a little bit misleading. Anyway, on from that, what do we have in the box? Well, we have the radio gear, 2.4 GHz system, and there's a description of the drivetrain. It is an all-metal drivetrain, which is one of the major reasons why I decided to go for this particular truck. And this thing is really in the way, and I can't see a damn thing. Yes, we've got the ESC motor included. Now it says the ESC is a Cobra 40 amp. Okay, that's it there. But it also is 2 and 3S compatible. Now, 40 amp 3S, maybe, probably not. Might go pop eventually. 550 size motor. You can run a brushed motor with 3S. That's no problem really, because brush motors were initially intended for 12 volts. 3S is what, 11.1? But 40 amps is a bit low for 3S. But anyway, like the Proline, this has an all-metal drivetrain. Metal, steel drive shaft, steel drive pins, and then all the gears inside are metal as well. That is critical, because I don't want to replace the Proline with something that's going to strip out a bit like an HPI jump shot. I mean, yes. What's good about this particular model is it's got a very low retail price. The retail price is 160. I got it for less than that because I got it from Tier Models and I got mates rates. Thanks, Alan. So you could be forgiven for thinking, okay, this is simply a cheap what is cheap, but a very budget basher to be considered along the likes of an FTX or something. That's not the case. This has been designed from the ground up in Europe by Corally, so this is not there's nothing wrong with rebranded Chinese products, but lots of companies do that, and some of the rebrands are really good and some of them are terrible. So you have no risk of that here. This is a design in Europe by Corally, and it uses the same sort of, because Corally, in case you don't know who they are, they make high-end racing cars, and they're famous for touring cars, etc. Carbon fibre, carbon graphite, that sort of stuff. But the composite plastics for the chassis in this and all the components are the same as the sort of composites you use on the mid to high tier touring cars. Not the full shebang carbon fibre ones, but the slightly mid-tier ones. So it's a good quality product. There's very little more to say on the box. We have, it says splash-proof electronics. It doesn't mention it on the box, but it does say, I think, on the website that it has big bore shock absorbers. So, without further, 8 kilogram torque for the servo. 8 kilograms is pretty good. However, I am not running this as well. I'll run it once as a standard, so you guys can see it going. But I'm not going to run it as a brushed truck for very long. I'm going to strip the electronics out of my Proline, the Castle Creations brushless system, 4600 kV, fit it to this. The Proline also has a Savox servo, which will be better than this one. So I may swap the servos over as well if they can fit straight onto the servo horns. I don't want to muck around with anything, because 8 kilos is absolutely fine. So yeah, we'll see. And I might swap the rail gear over depending on which one I prefer. Anyway, enough talking, let's get this cracked open. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, one other thing before I do this. Black windows. See that on the box? Black windows. They look great. I happen to know for a fact that the real model has got silver windows and don't look as good. So Alan at Team Models, where I bought this again, supplied me with some black vinyl so I can cut it and cover these silver windows if I don't like it, and I can replace them with black windows. It's not ideal. I'd rather have clear polycarb in it, but whatever. Problem is I left the vinyl at his shop, so never mind. Right, shall we see the truck? We shall see the truck. Come out. Doesn't want to come out. There we go, there we go. Ooh, nice finish. Nice finish. Look at that. Ooh. You can't really see it on camera, but that's a really nice shade of blue. Real metallic fleck to it. Almost a pearl. That's cool. That is cool. And I love the fact that it's a 1980s pickup body. That's one of the reasons. Because the thing is, the Triton SP, or the Triton in general, is a sister model to two others. There's the Mammoth and there's the Moxu. Now, the wishbones, shock towers, shocks, drivetrain, everything is the same on all three of them. The difference is the Moxu and the Mammoth have got a slightly lengthened chassis, which gives them a longer wheelbase. Okay, that's the only difference. And obviously, different body shells. The Mammoth is a sort of monster truck sort of style thing, and the Moxu is a sort of almost an axial crawler cage thing, which I don't think suits a monster truck too well. The reason I wanted this one over those other two is I don't feel, for me personally, the Mammoth fills its arches properly. It looks a bit clumsy, and again, I just don't think the Moxu suits bash or monster truck. It's more of a sort of crawler looking thing. However, so this is what I went for, and obviously shorter wheelbase, more wheelies. So here we are. What do you think? See what I mean by the silver? So this doesn't look too bad, but the problem with it is the same shade of silver as the graphics. So it just looks a little bit nasty, just a little bit. See these lights fold away on the sort of, it's almost like a roll cage, a roll bar. If it lands upside down, still land on the roof, but this will take a little bit of the shock. and these fold down. You could probably fit LED light buckets. In fact, you can fit LEDs in there. Yes, look at the front bumper. That's awesome, because it's not like a big sticking out in your face thing, but man, that's strong. That is a strong bumper. Decent. Really love the wheels and tyres. It doesn't look as substantial as the Proline because the wheels and tyres are narrower, but I do have a set of Proline wheels and tyres sitting in the cupboard, so I will probably fit them to it. Let's have a look at the chassis. Classic monster truck, bodied in the centre, electronics at the back. These are big shocks. Look at that, they are really quite, oh sorry, these are really quite big shock absorbers. Really meaty. Much bigger than every other monster truck apart from the Proline that I've owned. Bigger than not as tall as the high rollers, but a bigger bore than the jump shot, bigger bore than the Maverick. Yeah, nice. The plastic, the composite, they call it the composite, it's some sort of plastic, feels great. It feels really good quality. It's something that people with RC trucks can understand. Most people will be like, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean feels good? What do you mean it feels good quality? But RC people know what I mean. You can just feel it's just a good quality product. Cheaper models, you can feel that's a cheaper model. Nice and pliable on the shock towers. Pliable. Top link steering, the camber links are non-adjustable, but the toe is. I'm surprised actually how beefy these arms are. These suspension arms are really thick, really thick. I mean, obviously this is a relatively cheap model. Usually when you're talking about cheap models, the plastics are a bit thinner, but that isn't too far off the thickness of the Proline. They maybe be as thick and strong as the Proline ones, which this is a nice surprise to me. Wheelie bar. Problem with the wheelie bar is that's at its most adjusted point, so this is as most extreme in a wheelie angle I'll get, and it goes to there. It's not bad, but I'd rather it was up here somewhere because that brushless system is going to be savage for the size of truck this is, and especially such a short wheelbase. I want it up like this somewhere, so what I can do, I'll maybe try it like that, we'll see. There's a piece of plastic here. What I could do is remove that, just on bolts, and replace them with links. And I can shorten links and select my own length, and then maybe just slightly adjust it up a little bit. Could try that. We'll see. Maybe it's worth trying it as standard. It's not a bad angle really, but it's not. I mean, with the Proline you saw me get it right up like that, which was always quite fun. So maybe I'll do that. I don't want to remove the wheelie bar completely, or it will just flop over. Yeah, that's a bonny looking truck. That's really nice. Really nice. Everything's really quite substantial. Like the size of those wishbones and the size of the shocks. Steel drive shafts, as I said, they're not huge, but they're steel, so that's fine. They're as thick at least as the ones on my XXX SCT. That's running 3-cell. Quite stiffly sprung. I'm surprised by that. Quite stiffly sprung. Let's have a look. This is one thing I worry about, is the servo saver, because they're always terrible on these monster trucks. Yeah, terrible. Wonder if I can tighten up the servo saver. Not that it matters much, because the front wheels are going to be in the air all the time, but anyway. Yeah. It looks good. It looks really good. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm like a kid in a toy shop. I was going to say a kid in a China shop, but that doesn't really work, does it? What do you think? Should I do something about the windows, or should I just leave them? I don't know. Okay, so it's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad, but I just wish it was a different shade than the silver on the body. Yeah. I like how front two-wheel drive models especially have got an angle on the front suspension arms, so the shocks are coming at an angle and the arms are up like that way to absorb, you know, front end lands. Because if I land like that, that's the shock's vertical. Absorbs the shock really nicely. Strange combination on this particular truck, because you've got hex hardware, such as, you know, on the top of the chassis there. So I don't know if you can see that, hex hardware underneath. But it also has Philip crosshead hardware as well. Well, it's usually one or the other, but it's got both in this. Odd. And there's a various adjustment on the mounting locations for the shocks on the bottom, not so much at the top. Yeah, there's not a lot to say. It's a very honest looking. Ooh, what's a nice diff. Oh, it's super. It's quite tight. It's not because a lot of them have got lots of play between the planetary gears, so they go clunk 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 clunk. It's not like that. It's slicker than that, but it's hard to explain. It feels quite resilient. Yeah. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm definitely looking forward to using this. It looks really nice. What do you think though? Hold on, 2 seconds. Standard tyre, chunky Proline tyre, like that. It's slightly smaller profile, but that might be worth putting on. That would be beasting on this thing. Really increase the stance. Might have to fit them. But first of all, we will run it standard because I want to get an idea of what it is standard. And then put these electronics in the Proline, get that sold, and we'll try this out with the Castle brushless system and get it wheeling to it there. Yeah, I might need to do something about that. Right, that's the truck onto the radio gear. And the random piece of foam. Hey, what's happened to my box, eh? What happened there? You damaged the transit. Although it could have been damaged in transit on the way home to my house from... No, it wasn't. It wasn't my fault. It was Corally's fault. It was CML's fault. It was Alan's fault. It was Alan's fault. It was definitely Alan's fault. Thanks again, Alan, for Tay Models for giving me a mates rates deal. Okay, let's have a look at this radio. Ooh. Yellow, random, that's going to get dirty real fast because it's a rubberized finish for grip, but it's just going to get dirty. Foam wheel, that's nice. It's okay, it's a bit light, but then it's got no batteries in it right now. It's not bad. Because the thing is, the Proline's currently running a Spectrum radio, 2-channel. And it's nice, but it has a plastic wheel. This has got the foam on it. I don't know. We'll see. It's not really an issue either way. As long as it works, I'm happy enough. But let's compare. So here's the Spectrum D2. Here's the dusty Spectrum DX2E. It's really dusty. Again, it's got the rubber mark at the back of it. It looks cooler. It's more substantial. It's way more substantial. Plastic wheel. Feels just a little bit more special. Heavier. It's a lot heavier. I mean, obviously there's batteries in it, but I can feel there's a lot more weight up here as well. I think I'd be tempted to keep my Spectrum. Yeah, with all the dust. Let's keep the Spectrum and then sell the Proline with this one. Still nice enough. Still nice enough. Anything else in the box? Instruction manual. An aerial tube in there. It's just a black and white instruction manual. Nothing exciting about that. So there we are. It doesn't have a battery charger, as I said. So this, I don't know how much the battery and charger included model is. I don't know how much more extra money that'll add. I've not seen it in stock anywhere. I'll need to look that up. Because this could be a contender for best value beginner RC if it turns out to be as good as it looks, because the price is ridiculous for what you're getting. I mean, the retail is 160. I got it less, as I said, but 160 quid isn't too much more than an FTX Carnage. Yes, you're getting a battery and charger with that, so it all depends on how much more they bump up the price by. But if this is still comfortably under 200 with a battery and charger included, and it's proper tough with all the strength in the right places, the flexible parts in the right places, it's obviously got the reliable gearbox. You've got no doubt about that whatsoever. Everything's steel. could be onto a winner here. So we will wait and see. I do like those wheels though. I do like those wheels. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.